Hey sweethearts, it's Rowan, and doors closed, it just dropped below 50. In jeans. So I thought I'd do another mailbag because apparently I can't stop buying shit online. Got my letter opener, got my antique box cutter. Yes, this is a box cutter. It was originally, with San Felice Havana cigars. Are we able to focus at all? Book lamp? Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. You let me know if you can read that, because I don't know, I can barely see worth shit. As we saw in my video, even reading from my Nook, and that's, like, at, the second largest typeset I've got on there. This I actually got a while ago, but I noticed that I hadn't opened it, and I know exactly what it is. This was something that I got off of Etsy, and as always, if I forget to put the link to her shop in the description box after, this does its thing, just remind me. So, this is... Oh, that's got a really nice odor to it, doesn't it? So, ooh! And we've got little rose petals in here, too, but this is a white lavender, or white sage and lavender, smudge stick, from, ooh! So, I've got a little coupon code here, for, to bring me back to the shop. So I'm going to cover that up. This is Mayan Rose, smudge sticks, something very similar as, is used in many, traditions all over the world. I believe the term smudge stick comes from, Native American traditions. Is this a better way to light myself? Sort of, yeah. I believe the term smudge stick, was, appropriated from, the, Anglicization of, Native American and First Nations Canadian traditions, much like, the whole, spirit animal, which does sound vague enough. There are some arguments that it comes into, pagan and New Age. The term spirit animal comes into, pagan and New Age stuff directly from Native American things, so some people prefer to use, animal guides instead. I'm a bit, like, I don't know, I see compelling arguments going either way. I just, use the term related to my tradition in that state. I do not know what the term is for this in my tradition, the similar thing. I know when I was still predominantly Hellenic, it was just like, fumigation of incense, and so, this would just be, or fumigation with aromatic herbs, as an incense. So, that is the term that I tend to use. It's just, the aromatic herbs that, I use for, and it's for various things, for ritual cleansing, which is why I got this, because, before I get back into, some practicing, I have to, spiritually clean this, like, even before I physically clean this place, because, the ex, he left a lot of really bad energy, especially his last month here. So, let's see. White sage and lavender. This says, white sage has been considered a sacred, cleansing, purifying, and protective plant for hundreds of years. It is an evergreen perennial shrub that is found mainly, in the coastal sage scrub habitat of Southern California and Baja California. I thought Baja was okay, I guess it's a region. Oh, is that the more inland desert region, I guess, I don't know, on the western edges of the Mojave and Sonoran deserts. The wild lavender in these smudge wands are great to use during rituals or simply for its relaxing aroma. MayanRoseShop.etsy.com. Oh, and I do like all the little rose petals, you know, that were thrown into the little organza bag with this. So, yeah, I should have some time to set aside for this weekend for doing things in that much, and so into the trash bag. Yes, it's actually this was from takeout for ooh, I have time to get chili fries. Yeah, that is, you know, I just use them as trash bags because why the hell not? It doesn't, you know, it's cheaper than buying trash bags. So, this is another one from Oakthorn Studios. This is, I know exactly what this is. This is another patch that I got. I have patches from their shop on my purple jacket. I believe I showed those off in one of my videos about my jacket, and this one, get out. Okay, so ooh, we've got another coupon code, and that's for a 15% off. So, you know, order and, you know, they'll send you a 15% off. So, or Oakthorn Studios. I love the way that's got the little glossy embossing. Hello, Murnau! And Murnau wants to be in the way. He's so cute. And this is on Wednesdays, we wear black. And around here, damn near every day I wear black in some way or another. And do I want to save this? I might want to save this. I don't know. It's a fairly ordinary stamp. And why is there not a postmark across the stamp? That's a little unusual. So this should be something. This is actually, yeah, this is from another Etsy seller. Okay, so they don't have a shop name, but it's to a P.O. box. So if you were able to read that at all, that is, you know, you can go to the post office and harass them, and I'll be like, I'm sorry. So, I guess I don't really need my box cutter today, do I? Okay, so this is from Mango Orchard Handmade and Vintage Jewelry, and I mentioned this in the video with my Pagan Pride Day stone and iron haul, and or did I mention this? I don't know. So Cindy Reed, Etsy, Mango Orchard. Oh, and she's on Instagram as cindy.raid, R-E-I-D, .161. Okay. Ooh, and we've got little rainbow. Is this all one thing, or is that is all one thing? That is cute. So let's see. I've got a little rainbowy thing. I don't know. I can probably use it as a hair tie. So I was mentioning the iron horseshoe in my Pagan Pride Day little mini haul, $13. And ages and ages ago, my stepmother gave me, oh yeah, and the railroad spike. My stepmother gave me an iron ring. I've got a second business card. Well, that's nifty. My stepmother gave me a ring made out of a horseshoe nail, an iron horseshoe nail, and much like the Claudia that she gave me. So this was my stepmother's, or at least it was given to me by my stepmother's. You know, usually they're passed down. You know, like depending on your region, either mother to daughter or grandmother to granddaughter. You know, like Firstborn. Oh, that fits beautifully. That is about... Oh, it fits there nice as well. Okay, so we don't go over the thumb like... Oh, we go over that thumb, like the one that I had in high school. So, this said it was like vintage 30s, 40s. I'm guessing from... It might not be quite that old, but... so my stepmother gave me a ring much like this, but I think... I'm pretty sure, like, when I had to leave home at 17, I left it behind, and so they probably don't have it anymore. That was 20 years ago. My stepmother is still around at least as of earlier this year. I think somebody would try to contact me if she wasn't, but no, so I basically got one to replace it because, as I mentioned in the Pagan Pride Day haul video, there are goddamn fairies who just won't leave me alone, and it's been this way, like, for years and years and years, so, you know, have a ring made of iron. That's one way to help, you know, ward off the unseelie and, you know, keep a little bit on the nicer varieties as well. Oh, and we've just got a little thank you note. Thank you for your order. Oh, and we've got a little coupon code in here too. Yay! Okay, so I can go back and see if she's got anything I might like. Got my little stack of coupon codes. And this I can put with the ones that I reuse from my own shop. And at the library today, so I went to the library, and I did not get these in the free books. These were $2 each. I got a hardcover, obviously, of the play of Amadeus, which the film is based on. So, there's actually a really good review. Like, I know that at least at this point, anything on, what's it called? Channel Awesome is fairly polarizing. Excuse me. But there is an older Nostalgia Critic video about Amadeus, and you know, he goes in and, you know, first, you know, he kind of, like, makes some snarky remarks about people who are just like, oh, you know, this was largely fictionalized, and actually, like, it's about 50-50 fictionalized, and, like, you know, if we go through, you know, the basic facts, you know, portrayed in the film, it's about 50-50 fiction and non-fiction. It's a really good story regardless, so, and it is based on a play, and, you know, I've always wanted to read the play, and now I can, and it was $2, and that is really thin for what ended up being a 3-hour-long movie. It's one of my favorite films, though, but, you know, so, of course, it's, like, one of the ones that I had to have on DVD right after I got a DVD player ever for the first time. And this is a book. It is, The Secret Language of Birthdays. This has been in print for, I want to say, since I was in high school. Do we have a date here? This was also at the library, like, little bookstore that they've got for, funds for, $2 as well. And, let's see, okay, this was, oh, yep, first published 1994 by Viking Penguin, Division of Penguin Books USA. So, illustration credits, blah, blah, blah. Do we have which edition this is? It does not say which edition. So, this might actually be a fairly early one, too. So yeah, this is a book that I first read this, to, or at least, parts of it. It's more of, like, a reference kind of thing, for, horoscopes and zodiac and all that. So it's a reference one, and I first read it on, I want to say, let's see, first published in 94, so I would have been, it would have been no earlier than 8th grade. I want to say 8th or 9th grade when I first read this, and, but the list price, it's not there, is it? Or there. Oh, it is there. So the list price is, this is going to be upside down because it's too often, cumbersome for me to turn it around. List price is about $35. So, and I'm thinking that is an earlier edition price. I want to say it was more than that last time I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and I almost never see this, I almost never see this in secondhand bookshops or thrift stores. So, and this was like one of 2 copies that was at the Ann Arbor District Library, main branch, in downtown on 5th Street. At least when I left today, which was like, well, right when they closed the bookshop, I left shortly after that, there was at least 1 other copy. So if you get there, today was the 28th, so it'll be the 29th when I post this. So let's look at mine. I was born July 22nd, and this says, month July, day 22, 28 degree Cancer, 0 degree Leo, Cancer Leo cusp, cardinal water. Born on this day, Alexander the Great, Greek conqueror, Macedonian king, yes, Macedonian king, general, conquered most of the known world before death at 32. Hey, I've outlived Alexander the Great. Gregor Mendel. Oh, I forgot that. Austrian monk, botanist, founder of modern genetics. Oh god, there's this great Gregor Mendel little slideshow video that I saw on the Facebook Fake Science page. I love that page. One of my exes, the one I'm really, nice with, he loves that page. And that my ex loves the Fake Science page on Facebook, and he's always sending me stuff from there, so of course, and that is, like, one of his primary ways of showing, like, even the most platonic forms of affection is to just send you links to weird-ass shit he finds on the internet. Let's see, also born on this day is Oscar de la Renta, fashion designer, Alexander Calder, the sculptor, mobile maker, Edward Hopper, realist painter, Stephen Vincent Benet, epic poem, John Brown's Body. Rose Kennedy, mother to John, Robert, Edward, 9 children, tragedy to 5. Carl Menninger, psychiatrist, clinic founder. Tom Robbins, writer, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. Philip I, Spanish king, mysterious death. Danny Glover, stage, film actor. Willem Dafoe, film actor. I love Willem Dafoe. Paul Schrader, screenwriter, taxi driver, film director of American Gigolo. Charles Weidman, choreographer, modern dance innovator. Jason Robards, film stage actor. Terence Stamp, British film actor. Robert Dole. Oh god, Bob Dole. U.S. Senator, Kansas, from Kansas, war hero, vice presidential nominee. Al Di Meola, jazz fusion guitarist. Brian Forbes, British film actor, producer, director, Stepford Wives, novelist, the original Stepford Wives film. The Distant Laughter, Alex Trebek, game show host, Jeopardy. Oh, I forgot about Alex Trebek. Also, yeah, so this has to be an earlier edition, because I find it hard to believe that an updated edition would leave out Rufus Wainwright, because I also share a birthday with him. So, according to this one, I am a Cancer. The cusp days, it's not as simple as, just like, oh, you've got traits of both. What that really means, that's been, oversimplified to the point that people don't actually, the typical understanding of it, to people who only have, a passing familiarity with astrology. And I don't consider myself to have much more than that. I've got friends, I keep meaning to give my friend Wendy, $20, $25 to do a chart for me. It's just a matter of, either, other stuff comes up that takes priority, with my funding, or I've forgotten. And when I forget, I have no money. Or when I remember again, I have no money. Like right now. So yeah, the thing with, on the cusp, what that means is, it's going to be dependent on a number of factors, such as, your location, the year, the location of your birth, the year of your birth, and the time of day of your birth. So those are the three things that affect what what sign you are if you're born on a cusp day. So I was born 9:09 a.m. Toledo, Ohio, in 19 and I've mentioned my age before. You do the maths. Look at the timestamp. Do the maths. So yeah, I usually come up Cancer, sometimes Leo. I know things that, will sort you just by year. Those will say Leo. So my guess is, I was born just early enough, that I am Cancer. But if I were born, I don't know, an hour later in the day, it would have been Leo. So, so let's see, what else does it say about July 22nd? Those born on, the day of occupational fluctuation. I'm not sure how they mean that, but I know in my case that, at least in my specific interpretation of that, just off the top of my head, that is not too far off. Okay, those born on July 22nd will have a difficult time keeping their careers on an even keel. That makes sense. They may one day be blessed with tremendous good fortune, at another time with overwhelming misfortune. That makes perfect sense. They can experience success in what they do for years, only to see it fall apart. Or they may suffer a lack of recognition for a long time, and later delight when their star shoots high in the firmament. Not infrequently, their greatest recognition comes posthumously. Such fluctuations are not limited to their career, but also apply to their emotional lives, as illustrated by the love affairs, marriages, divorces, separations, and difficulties of all sorts of July 22nd people experience. So dominant is the July 22 will to come out on top. However, that they rarely ever consider giving up. When they are in control of a situation, they appear to be invincible. Yet, even to the strongest of those born on this day, misfortune may come to strike them down at the zenith of their power. One of the weaknesses of July 22 people is a blindness to their shortcomings, which can keep them from making necessary changes in their lives and personalities. Because they are so thoroughly convinced of the correctness of what they are doing, they may fail to notice those little signs of impending disaster that must be heeded before it is too late. Another difficulty is that they have a hard time dealing with their aggressions. I'm not the most aggressive person, honestly. On one occasion, they can be assertive, even forceful in their behavior. Okay, I guess I can see that. On another, lack the will to confront problems and thus procrastinate. Repression of their more forceful side may lead to explosive and unpredictable outbursts, usually at the worst times. I can see that when I was younger. I've mellowed out so much with age. And pharmaceuticals. It may be asking a lot of mates, friends, and children to allow for such a temperament. July 22 people are generally courageous, straightforward, and willing to compete at any odds, but they can also be foolhardy, stubborn, and unrealistic. If their actions lead to personal failure, it is essential that they acknowledge mistakes, second, learn from them, and then move on. But if such a person immediately strikes out again, without steps 1 and 2, they are apt to cut a tragic figure in the eyes of the world. More highly evolved July 22 people allow themselves at least a short period of adjustment, recuperate fully, and come back to fight again another day. Perhaps worn, but wiser. Of course, all of us must get to know ourselves better, our strengths, our weaknesses, our limitations. But for those born on July 22, it is truly a matter of the gravest importance. Their ability to achieve lasting success in any area of life is directly proportional to their self-knowledge gained at the expense of merciless objectivity. Okay. So, let's see. So yeah, this side we've got a crab. Tarot card for July 22 is the Fool. There's a tarot card given for, it looks like they're all major arcana. Tarot card given for July 22 is the Fool. Strengths: dynamic, courageous, success-oriented. Really? I kind of goof off a lot. Weaknesses: unlucky, stressed out, self-unaware. Let's see, numbers and planets. Those born on the 22nd of the month are ruled by the number 4, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and by the planet Uranus, which is both erratic and explosive. People ruled by the number 4 have their own way of doing and seeing things. Because they so often take the opposing point of view with great self-assurance, they sometimes arouse antagonism and make enemies. They generally rebel against regulations and rules, wanting to change the social order. The Moon, ruler of Cancer, in combination with Uranus, can indicate an explosive emotional life, because 22 and 11 are the only double-numbered days. Those born on the 22nd of the month often evidence an interest in various doubles, twins, coincidences, and symmetry, for example. Tarot. The 22nd card of the Major Arcana is the Fool, who in several versions of the tarot is shown blithely stepping over the edge of a cliff. Some interpretations picture him as a foolish man who has given up his reason, others a highly spiritualized being free of material considerations. Positive meanings include renouncing resistance and following instincts freely. Foolishness, impulsiveness, and annihilation are the negative aspects. The highly evolved Fool has followed life's path, experienced its lessons, and become one with his or her own vision. Health. Those born on July 22 are likely to face serious psychological problems unless they take some time off to get to know themselves better. Dynamic activity without sufficient reflection will eventually wear them down, and can only result in various stress-related complaints, often involving strain to the heart, back, or stomach. As soon as possible, a well-rounded diet with strictly ordered meal times should be insinuated to give much-needed structure and recharging nourishment to their day. I do have, I do try to keep to a fairly evenly spaced mealtime, if only because I've always had issues with anemia and hypoglycemia, usually on the borderline of both, and anemia has been a bit more of an issue with age. Hypoglycemia was a bit more of an issue when I was younger. So but yeah, my primary physician, she's a vegetarian, and my last full wellness exam, which was last November, shortly before Isaac moved in, but after, like a good time after he'd been pretty much hanging out here for about August, September, October, for about 3.5 months, like almost daily. So I was cooking for both of us a lot, and I would be eating things like, because he's vegetarian and it's easier to make, like one meal that both people can share rather than two separate meals. So I was eating a lot less meat, and so my iron was like way down, like the lowest she said she'd seen it since, since I got done being homeless. So, which was about, how old am I now? About 13, 14 years ago. So yeah, my doctor's a vegetarian, my ex is a vegetarian, and she's looking at my iron count, and she's like, look, you cannot take, we know you can't take the iron supplement because of, constipation, which is going to be, like, double for you because you were on Vicodin for so long. So, like, just eat a burger. Just eat a burger, like, once a week. Just, something, like a little bit of red meat once a week. You should be fine. So, so yeah, like, that's why I keep to the strict meal times, especially now with the Adderall, because I have almost no appetite on that. And, what I do eat, I'm full a lot faster, so, like, keeping to my meal times just so that, my health doesn't take a downward spiral, that's really important. So, where does it nourishment during the day? Okay, cigarettes and consumption of coffee should be limited, if not eliminated altogether. No, you'll take my coffee from my cold dead hands. Regular vacations and non-taxing forms of physical exercise are recommended. Yeah, I haven't had a vacation in a while, and I've actually been talking a few times today about how I need to go visit Ireland for my upcoming birthday. So, July of 2019, I need to go visit Ireland. Let's see. Advice. To bring more stability into your life in all forms, the key is structure. Relax and enjoy what you are doing, even when doing absolutely nothing at all. Take time to recharge. Learn to empty. Don't push so hard for success, as consistent and sustained efforts will be far more rewarding. Meditation. Everything happens at once. No shit. Everything does tend to happen at once around here. Okay. Okay, so, Summer, page 17, Cancer, page 23, Cancer Leo Cusp, page 48, Cardinal Winter, pages 812 to 816. Oh, yeah, Cancer Leo Cusp. Like I said, I'm almost afraid to, see what they have to say here, because a lot of what they were putting in, it's like, okay, this is just, this is like your typical advice column-y type of interpretation of the zodiac, which is, where a lot of people, just get really, really skeptical of it. And, my friend Wendy, I do believe it's Wendy, or, I've got a couple of friends who are involved with astrology, and Wendy has said that she was highly skeptical of astrology and, you know, the zodiac until she started studying it. You know, like, she went into it, you know, studying it, you know, with the intent of, you know, disproving it, and the more deeply she studied it, you know, the more, you know, the more seriously she took it. So, so yeah, like, a lot of people, you know, they're only familiar with, like, you know, like, the newspaper horoscopes and all that, you know, which just comes off very advice column-y, and, so, you know, there is, I mean, it is a nice little reference, you know, it does give some, you know, broad what's-its about things, but yeah, like, this is not a book that I would recommend taking too seriously. You know, it just, you know, it gives a nice, you know, broad, like rough idea of things in it. I'm expecting cringe when I read, you know, stuff about, you know, the cusp, because, like I said, that's, you know, it's based a lot more on positioning than, you know, very basic stuff like this is really going to, encompass. So, you know, but it is a nifty little, reference book for the lady. Ooh, that's a really nice index we've got. So yeah, we've got, stuff about, yeah, the various, elemental correspondences with the zodiac. So, I'm a water sign, you know, as per most stuff I've at least been able to access for free or for very, very little. Okay, there's Uranus there. Like, this is a very nice index. I mean, you know, it's arranged very well for a reference book. It's a very well done reference book. But yeah, as far as as far as, you know, like, a serious astrology reference book goes, like I said, it's if you want to buy it new, it's a nice little novelty, you know, sort of thing. It's a bit more, it's a bit more tailored than the average, astrology reference for the laity. You know, so it's a bit more in depth, than some things, but, you know, it's still very much, you know, it's like, it's not, like, good astrology. It's convenience astrology. But yeah, like, you know, for just, like, a nice little reference that, you know, is a little bit, that's a little bit more, tailored than your average, astrology reference book, which is going to be shit. The average astrology reference books are shit. That is, you know, like, I don't even, like, it's easier to find a shitty one than it is to name a good one, you know, it's like, but yeah, as far as, you know, like I said, for convenience astrology, this is a decent book. This is a decent book, you know, it's gonna, if you know even as much as I do, which isn't much, if you ask me, you know, it's like, I mean, granted, I know a lot more now than I did when I first read this, back in 8th grade, maybe 9th grade, but yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little reference book. Let's see. You know, will Amazon tell me? Okay, Secret Language of Birthdays. So let's see, what is the current list price? Just so I have an idea about how old this actually is. Okay, so this it defaults to a paperback edition for $23.8. Oh, list price for the paperback is $30. Amazon price would be $23.83. Does it give us a list price for the current edition of the hardcover? Okay, list price $45 for a new copy of the hardcover. So this, yeah, $34.95. So this is about $10 less than the current list price. So this is either like a first or second print. So, but still, $2 is not bad for, you know, a pretty hefty reference book. So, yeah, it's, like I said, like, it's convenience astrology, so, but it is so nice to have, and it's so pretty. And the layout is just so nicely done. I can't believe I'm geeking out over the layout. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd. Such a nerd. Okay, well, I think I'm done. I'm gonna go... Oh, no, there's no time to, go get chili fries now, because I've spent so much time talking to the video people. Okay, sweethearts, bats and kisses, and I'm going to go, make the cats their dinner and fix some of my own, and maybe tomorrow I can get chili fries. Chili fries. Alright, take care, bye-bye.